folks. Welcome. Get settled in. Hello, 4 people. It is currently Saturday and about 1:37 p.m. in New York. It is reaching a high of like 80s today, and it is, yes, hello Gary, 15 people now apparently. It is like mid to late April, and it's 80 degrees Fahrenheit. I went out in jeans and a cropped cotton blouse that is kind of on the thicker side with my keffiyeh on, and I was sweating. So I'm not looking forward to this summer. It's probably gonna be even more brutal than last summer when I got mono. I don't look forward to turning on the AC. I hate the kind of mental fraught sensations it gives me. I don't know if anyone else experiences this. I don't know if it's just me and my mental illness, or if it's like autistic or whatever the fuck it is, but I hate turning on the AC because it just doesn't make sense to me. And the world is already hot. You're turning on AC to make yourself feel better. Yes, I know, once above a certain heat level, you will get sick and old people do die. But it's just adding to the problem. Like, it's making temperature increases worse. I just feel like this is feeding the fire rather than putting it out. But maybe at this point there is no putting it out. I went a little bit cray-cray today on Instagram already with like connecting my dots, my conspiracy mind, but also just making sense of this world that we live in now. Anyway, I have been spending a lot on groceries this week just because I've had opportunity to walk to Flushing yesterday for my dentist appointment, so I grabbed some Chinese items. Then I ordered my first Diaspora Co. spice, which is very exciting for me because I have been lusting after this pink marketing. Okay, I've been lusting after it for close to 5 years now. I think Diaspora kind of blew up around the same time in 2020 as Burlap and Barrel kind of blew up. They are also a single origin spice company, but they source from much fewer countries than Burlap and Barrel does, but it is on the same tier of business as Burlap and Barrel is, so I almost felt like I was betraying my brand by purchasing this, but I had to like scope it out, you know? Let me just turn the camera around so I can show you this not flipped. Hello, hi. Do I look more normal now? I have to turn on my live stream on my laptop just to check myself now to see. But yeah, they were also holding a kind of sale during our sale, and they offered free shipping. So I got one spice, and this was their hot cocoa mix that was also on sale at the time. I can make like a hot cocoa milkshake right now. I'm thinking of blooming this mix in some boiling water and then adding it to some oat milk in the blender and just adding other stuff to make it more into a cold smoothie. But that's one thing that I bought this week. I have a bit of rant to do on this one too, so stay tuned if you want to hear me rant. But yes, this is so pink, and I don't think I'll be buying another spice from them, and I'll tell you why later when I rant. But I'm very, very glad that I finally treated myself to this and fulfilled my fantasy and my desire, and now I can just have this pink forever. Love the packaging in terms of aesthetics. It is not very easy to open, and the spices kind of like rim, so it kind of spills every time if you're not very careful. And they have acknowledged this, and apparently they are switching up their packaging, so I'm very excited to see what their new packaging will be. But that's that. Today I also went out and got some $1 plums from my Chinese supermarket. This all came in a bag. There's 6 plums in here. I'm thinking about eating some of my leftover yogurt with the plums while I cook. I went to the Sunnyside Farmers Market today and I got this huge slab of pig skin. And I did not know at the time of asking for it that it is actually hickory smoked. So this is smoked pig skin, which I have never encountered before. It is very, very big. This was $5 a pound, and it is just over 3.5 pounds, so this cost me about 18 bucks. And I'm thinking about slicing it up and portioning it, using a little bit of it as like a, kind of like a cooking oil base to flavor my mostly vegetarian meals. I think this will add some fat as the fat from the skin renders out, and it'll also add some flavor. It looks like, oh yeah, they have the ingredients listed: pork, water, sugar, salt, brown sugar, sodium erythorbate, sodium nitrate, propylene glycol, and molasses. So this is like processed. But I figured I'd give it a try before I die, you know, so we'll be doing that. And I bought my 2 bags of apples again for $7 total. It was a really good deal. I've been eating them pretty happily over the last 2 weeks. There were only like 2 apples that were kind of like sketchy. One of them had like a rotten core, but the outside was perfectly sweet, no bitter notes. So I think they're just kind of like overstock apples that they've been keeping in storage. Some of them are a little bit wrinkly, but for the most part, absolutely delicious. And I can't really complain about the price because there's about 8 apples in each bag. So it's $7 for 16 apples is a pretty dang good deal for me. I'll take this opportunity to show you what I got in the Chinese markets yesterday. I got some mushrooms. These were 2 packets for I think $2.50 or something like that, like super cheap. They look super adorable. They look like baby oyster mushrooms. I don't know if there's any mushroom freaks out there who can confirm. Diaspora and B&B cannot kiss. I'm sorry. Like, it does not seem like the co-founders are on friendly terms. Burlap and Barrel is really good about supporting other small businesses, but it does seem like there is a slight rivalry between the 2 companies. I got 2 different kinds of mountain yams. Got the thicker one, and I got the skinnier one. But I did not get a 3rd type, which was the Japanese one, and the Japanese one was like more than double the price of these. These were $1.79 per pound, so this one cost me $1, which was pretty cheap, and this one cost me, I forget, but not all that much. But apparently the Japanese one is like $4 a pound, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go budget on this for now. So I will be thinking of what to cook with this, but I'm not sure I will anytime today. And then I also got 3 packets of shirataki, which is a kind of like mountain yam extract. It's like cognac flour, spelled Konjac. Cognac, I think it's cognac, or konjaku. And these are like little bundles. They're like little noodle bundles. I don't know if you can see. I got 3 packets of these for $4 maybe. I think they came like you had to buy 3 to get that price, so I bought 3. And they'll be really good. in any kind of summertime cooking, you just have to blanch them. They can go in soups. You can stir fry them, I guess. It looks like they kind of cover them in chili oil on the packaging here, so. So let me take my yogurt out so I can eat it. And then I also took out my chicken hearts that were frozen because I'm on my period, and yesterday I was having a taste for like meat finally, and this was like the closest thing I had to like meat. So I defrosted it. Honestly, I'm not feeling it today, but I've defrosted it, so I think I'm gonna cook it and maybe freeze some of it, but yeah, we'll prep this too. Let's see, what else? I'm gonna drink my tea. I have been so scatterbrained recently, so I actually made myself like a little live to-do list, and I have here ginger soy chicken hearts, so we can do a ginger soy chicken heart. Oh, I have on here sausage, onion, peppers, cabbage with gochujang. That sounds delicious too. I got these 2 links of sausages from one of my local grocers. The sticker says cabanosi. I don't know what kind of sausage that is, but they're really nice. They're like kind of smoked. I actually nibbled a little bit off of one last night just because I was like, meat, give me meat. So I was snacking at this at like 10 p.m. last night, and it's nice and salty, not too fatty, but it's got chunks of fat in there. So we could do like a little stir fry with this with my vegetables that I've had cut for a week. Lots of options. I am spoiled. I am swimming in food. I am really worried about what the fuck we're doing here on Earth. But in the meantime, I figured I'd spend some money on food and cook myself some meals and share it with you all. And we can think about what the fuck is going on with the world together. But first, a drink. Cheers to still being alive and somehow in this, I don't know, what do you call this? Do you call this a mess? Do you call this a hell? Do you call this a heaven? Do you call this life? Do you call this death? Some people say we're already dead, so I don't know. We could be. Yes, this is, I mean, this came from a pig. Piggies are kind of big, so yes. And this piece of skin is doubled over, so the surface area is actually double this. So that's why we need to prep it, because if I freeze that whole block, I'm gonna have to defrost it again. It's already kind of defrosted on my walk back from the market, so I figured let's prep it now and make it easier for our future selves to use. So I should look for a container, actually, that can hold this. And I have a stash of parchment paper that could be handy for this, yes. Yeah, this is the stack of parchment paper I used to use when we were making dumplings with Grandma. You remember those days? So I put all these pieces of parchment in between her dumplings so that they wouldn't stick. They all smell like freezer now though, so. Yeah, I do think I yearn for the organ meats when I'm about to have my period or when I'm on my period because of the blood loss. I think there is just something like very magically attuned for the body to yearn for certain things, so I try to pay attention to it, but I don't want it today. But I think once I cook it and have it in the fridge, I'll want to snack on it, so I will cook it anyway. There are still some people who comment on my Instagram sometimes, like, oh, I really miss your videos, and I miss getting ideas from you. And my brain, my very mean, reactive brain, that I'm trying to, like, calm down and soothe, is just like, you don't miss the ideas, you don't miss the inspiration, you just miss how easy I made it for you by putting in all those hours to film it prettily and edit it down, efficiently, and then you could just all, like, snarf it, which is fine, because some people apparently watch Budget Eats over and over and over and over again. Somebody wrote on my Instagram this week that they watch Budget Eats every day, and I'm just like, first of all, I'm really happy for you, and I'm really, like, proud of myself for having made something that people want to consume on a daily basis, but are you okay? Because it's been like 4 years since I've made Budget Eats, and I only made like 7 episodes maybe, so we are all addicted to the screen, and we're all addicted to content, and we're all addicted to escapism, and I realize that, and now I'm just like, alright, we now know what we're addicted to. The question is, do we want to keep being addicted to the same thing, or do we want to explore different things? I'm going to read your comments and catch up. Hi, everyone. Thank you for bangs. I actually trimmed even more bangs into the fold now, so my bangs are getting thicker. Because they were sparser, and they were the way my hair was like splitting and cowlicking was getting really on my nerves, so I just wanted more hair. But of course, I'm just digging myself deeper into the bangs for life hole now. Ooh. I did not get a new tattoo. The very last tattoo I got was January 2024, and I really would love to get a tattoo again, but I'm kind of worried about the inflammation from the tattoo, because you're like literally needling shit into your skin, that triggering my immune system, which is obviously a wreck right now. So I'm just trying to like hold off and let my body get to a baseline where I can feel moderately more normal than I am now, before I do this. Hi, Janity. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for saying hi. Recharge your phone. Love you. Bye. Yes, some people make pork rind. It's not for me. If my mom were alive, I would make that shit for her. She was the one who likes to crunch, crunch, crunch. But for me, that pork rind sensation, that oil is too intense on my mouth, and I hate it when I feel the slick of oil inside my mouth. Unless it's from a dessert, unless it's like cheesecake, but even croissant, even feeling the slick of oil and butter in my mouth after a croissant bothers me. So it's like a very specific kind of fat that kind of just like makes me not like it. So I'm thinking about just, this thing was $18. I'm thinking about using it like a bottle of olive oil, because that's kind of how much a bottle of good olive oil costs these days. And I'm kind of just looking forward to cooking with it as like a, start it with my onions and garlic and spices in the beginning, and just render out the fat and let it be the creamy contribution to my mush. I will say my emotional score for today, we're good. I think it's a solid 8.5 out of 10. I went to the farmer's market today, and today was my 3rd consecutive day taking a walk that lasted longer than half an hour. Believe it or not, yesterday, maybe it was like stupid of me to do, but I did take a one-way walk from Jackson Heights to Flushing, to where my dentist was. I really enjoyed the feeling of finishing that walk, but I cannot lie, I felt so tired just like halfway through. I wanted it to be over. So that was really disappointing because I used to be able to take a walk to Flushing and back and then only start feeling tired in like the last 10 minutes of that second round trip. So my like fitness level is at most, it's so depressing, it's at most like 20%. I think it's closer to 15% of what I used to be. And to see myself go from like what used to be my 100 to now 15% of that 100 in just a year, less than a year, is like really fucking depressing. And that takes a while to come to terms with. And clearly I still have not. I'm still taking these walks that are like way too long for me, but okay. I'm gonna refill my tea and we will start cooking stuff. I'm watching comments, but not my feedback screen. So you let me know if I'm out of focus because I can't see myself anymore. I turn my phone around so that you don't get mirrored imaged, but that means I don't get feedback from my cell phone screen. I need you to give us a pump of communal feel good, okay? Can you share in the chat if you would like the happiest thing that happened to you this week? It could be anything. It could be something you read. It could be something you ate. It could be something that you saw. It could be Memo. Memo was pawing me just now. I don't know what he wanted, but it was kind of cute that he was pawing me. Something that you did for yourself, something that you did for others. Would love to know. Please, God, someone share something happy. Baby. What you doing? And what else? Tell us about your day. Hi. No? Not for you? I know, I left you food. We're out of temptations, honey. Does he want to play? Do you think he wants to play? Meow. Hi. It's really noisy outside, baby. What are they doing? Do you want pets? You want pets? Did you come to me because you wanted me to sit with you? Do you want pets? No? we take a bath soon? You're kind of yucky. What will we do about you? Come on. Hi. Thank you. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go cook, okay? Is that okay? You wanna come hang out? You want pets? You want more pets? Do you want to try the churro? Oops. Sorry, guys. That's churro. Do you want it? Oh, it's got a hair in it. Okay. I love you, baby. All right, I'm gonna go cook, okay? I'm sorry. I hope you enjoyed that detour into the bedroom. All right. Yes, my next obstacle with Memo is his fur is getting kind of gunky. He's definitely not gonna let me take a bath with him, so I bought some sprays and I bought some wipes, and every time he hears me reach for the bottle, he skedaddles. So the closest I've been able to do is to put the product in my hand, like in another room, and then go to where he is, start brushing him with my unproduct hand, and then work in the product after he's like not suspicious anymore. This cat is so neurotic. I honestly don't know what happened to him in his past life, but he does not trust anyone. So it's a little bit difficult working with him. All right. Thank you for sharing all of your happy moments. I would love to read them, but I really have to start cooking. But I have a feeling I'm going to go back and read them after this live is done. So appreciate you all. Okay, the third recipe I had on here was parsnips, leeks, miso, and tofu. These are basically all just ingredients I have in the fridge. this was kind of how I used to think through Veggie Eats too. And then I was also thinking of making a yogurt white sauce with lentils, or I could eat them with my plums, or I could make a white sauce. I could make a white sauce to go with my lentils, my fancy lentils. IDK. I haven't decided yet, but that is, gotta decide which one to do first though. We have to observe first in, first out FIFO, which is, you know, like the rule of thumb. And these veggies have been cut for a week now. I bought these veggies last Sunday and I got some red bell peppers and I cut those up too. So I think we have to cook this. I also got this overwintered red cabbage. Look at how beautiful they are. I ripped off the leaves already because I had to wash them and make sure no grit was trapped. But they would come in these like flowering bunches. And they were just like such beautiful, dark, almost like goth colored leaves with this like bright green stalk. Very sweet, kind of like broccoli stalks. Oh my gosh. I love raw vegetables with this sambal crunch. It has like fried onion crunchies and a little bit of seaweed and sugar and salt. Okay. We're gonna chop some garlic, chop some onion first. And then we'll process the lard. No, chop the onion, chop the garlic, keep them in here. Then we're going to chop up the cabbage, and once all the veggies are chopped, we're going to start working on the pork. So, that's the game plan. Okay. Happy Saturday, folks. Has anyone ever made barbecue sauce with just tomato paste? Or is there something about ketchup? I guess there is like high fructose corn syrup in ketchup that makes that gel-like shiny consistency possible. Oh, that's a strong onion, okay. Ooh, delayed onset. Guys, what is happening here? Do you see this? This is like an alien garlic. Oh, there's like a baby coming out. Creepy. Creepy. Oh, it kind of smells like a scallion. That's weird. Alright, well, if I turn into a garlic after this, I guess that'll be something. I would call this a romper if I were shorter. It's kind of like a capri length. So I don't know. Is this a romper? I bought it for like $5, I think, somewhere. I have made barbecue sauce before from the sun-dried tomato powder. And I also put pineapple into that batch because I had some like leftover pineapple and quite a bit of brown sugar. I think the problem with not using ketchup is you need to add in more sugar because ketchup already has sugar in it, so you just kind of have to make up for that missing sugar content. Guys, I had a wild sleep last night, okay? I lived more adventure in my dreams last night than I've lived in like the last 8 months combined, probably. More. Because just so many things happened in that dream. I think this might have been my first ever dream where I found myself totally naked, which is like a very common dream occurrence. But I don't recall, at least, I just don't recall having a naked dream before. What is the common dream analysis for finding yourself completely naked in a dream? Because I know there is one. But there was like so much lead up to me being naked. That was like 10 minutes before the whole dream sequence ended, and this dream sequence continued with a break in the middle. Like I actually woke up, went back to sleep, dreamed the second segment that like still called back to the first segment of the dream. It was wild. It was like a whole universe I was living. Are you talking about Fred the cat? Fred the cat used to have asthma, or at least his vet made us believe that he had asthma because he was doing this hacking thing that made him look like he was hairballing, but he never threw up a hairball. He would just kind of like hunch and cough and dry cough and dry cough. So Aaron and I had to gas him with a little inhaler cat tube for a while, but he's good now. I don't think he needs that medication anymore. That was when Aaron friend and I still live together in our old apartment. Ever since I stopped smoking weed every night, my dreams have gotten crazy vivid, yo. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember waking up from them and going like, I did not sleep at all. Like, I just dreamed all the way through. But that's been fun. Honestly, I kind of like that I have such active dreams because it gives me a reason to want to go to sleep, which is great. It's an incentive for me to get my sleep back on track because my life is so depressing and boring. I would rather live like more anxiety, adventurous, depressing in my dreams than this boring, genocidal, late-stage capitalism reality that we're all kind of trapped in and tired of. So it's just a nice break to have. I'm not complaining. Alright, I think that's enough garlic. I chopped like half a head in there, so great. Cabbage next. So yeah, in this last night's dream, I dreamt about organizing, I dreamt about getting lost, I dreamt about like not being able to put my shoes on when everybody was heading out, and so I told them I'll catch up with you, but I ended up getting lost catching up to them, and I had no idea where anyone was, and I finally caught up to them, but it looked like they had been waiting for me for hours by the time I caught up to them, and I felt really bad, but also really thankful that they were waiting for me, and just really glad that I made it. That was like the first dream. And then after I woke up and went back to sleep, I dreamt a second dream, and it was in the second dream that I had like dreamt about real people that I know in real life, but like seeing them in different light, you know, that's always kind of disturbing. That makes you go, huh, what's happening here? And then that second part of the dream ended up with me like being stuck on the streets with someone watching like a fight go down. And then by the time the fight ended, I had somehow gotten down into the subway and realized I had no clothes on. And I think throughout the dream unfolding, I realized that I was missing pants, but I still had underpants on, so I wasn't too embarrassed. I think it was like an emergency situation where we just had to run out of the scene without any preparation. But by the time I got into the subway and I was like fumbling for my wallet, I realized I had no clothes on, like literally no bra, no underpants, like totally naked. And I remember thinking, oh shit, I'm not only fucking embarrassed, I'm gonna get arrested for like, you know, indecent exposure. And I just remember like maybe like the station master and or a police person looking at me just to see if I was like a crazy person or not. And I remember just being like ashamedly trying to put my clothes back on down in this pretty deserted subway, trying to catch this train that I heard was coming. Oh gosh, yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on there. Wild times. I think a lot of people engage with psychological horror as an escape. I mean, I've been thinking about the reason why Americans love horror movies so much, you know? Like, and we make some good ones, but there's also some, like, just really shitty junk foody type of horror movies that I think Americans in particular are in favor of. Just thinking about the really scary shit for no reason, like The Descent is, you know, my OG traumatic horror movie that I always refer back to, but the fact that we have such a lively kind of horror movie industry that we even make parodies of it through things like Scary Movie and shit like that. There is something very unique to American horror movies that I feel like I don't tend to see. But I also don't seek out horror movies or foreign films all that much, so I could be wrong, but I don't know. I just feel like other horror movies that I know that are foreign, like Japanese or Korean ones, they're always kind of like driven by a deeper plot point. They're always kind of like exploring this more human condition, unsolvable existential crisis, like themes of revenge and scheming and like long-term plotting. But like American horror movies are sometimes just like scary for the sake of scaring you, and that's always been kind of just like confusing for me. Feel free to let me know if that's not an accurate take. I am, I guess, biased against the American golden experience. I can't get over how pretty they are. It's so pretty. I've never bought overwintered red cabbage before, but like, I might, again, just because they're so pretty. If you think about it, the zombie apocalypse has already happened, right? A lot of people are kind of brain dead, myself included. Just the amount of hours I sink on social media every day. Not to say that I don't gain insight from consuming content. I do clearly have an interest in it, but like it is also kind of mind-numbingly drug-like. And, you know, depending on what you see in the media that you consume, you start to echo the messaging that you are consuming. You are what you eat, right? And not just literal eating, but also psychological eating, political eating, sociological eating, all of that. All right. now we're gonna be cutting our hickory smoked pork skin. Oh, good God, she's large. Large. Very large. Right. She smells good though. She smells delicious. There's a nice little USDA stamp on there, I guess. Like a little bit of ham attached to this piece. Yum. Okay. Delightful, delightful, delightful. Girl, I'm not gonna be learning how to tattoo, okay? The last thing you want is me learning tattoo. It smells nice. It's not like overly smoked or anything, but it smells very flavorful. I am covering my entire board in lard though. It's going to be very difficult to wash after. This is not the IKEA pot. This is a Salvation Army pot, and we'll make sure that it is enough, you know? We'll make it work. I'm looking forward to this in my beans, though, in the upcoming days of beans. Yeah, that's the thing though. If I learn how to tattoo, that's all I would do now that I'm trapped at home. Given that my immune system can handle it, like, I do feel like if I knew how to tattoo, that's all I would be doing to myself. So, I'm not sure that's a good thing though, you know? Dude, this would taste so good in cornbread. Wow. So if you want to come back in like 15 minutes, I'll probably still be trimming this piece just because I do want to cut them down to size so that they're easier to kind of chunk off and use after I've frozen most of it. I'm also going to go pretty carefully because my hands are getting quite oily and I do not want to slip with my knife while cutting this. So I'm cutting them into like 1.5 inch squares or rectangles, basically. A friend recommended that I watch Adolescent last time I hung out with him. Has anyone seen the show? Do you also recommend it? Apparently they're shot in one take episodes, which sounds like a tremendous amount of effort, honestly. Just pure fat, man. Pure fat. Yum. I also found out that there's a new season of Black Mirror, to which my response was, who would want to watch Black Mirror. I feel like we're all living Black Mirror now. Is it any fun to watch it? Alright, I gotta wash my hands and get out another container. This one is full. I don't know how many containers I'm gonna need. Probably 3. Jesus. Okay. I think tattooed pork skin will be edible if you're the type of person who eats like Easter eggs that have been dyed thoroughly. But just because something is edible doesn't mean you should eat it. It's like technically cocaine is edible. And many people do eat it, but like whether or not you should is a different matter. No, listen, I'm not the one to tell you should or shouldn't. You're the one who decides. But, you know, that's the best part about being an adult, right? You can choose which demise you would rather commit. So long as you're clear that you must choose a demise. So I've been thinking about season 1, episode 2 of Black Mirror a lot. I think once Black Mirror changed into American production, it started really suffering for me, but to each their own. Hey, baby. Do you want a little smoked pork? You want to smell? You want it? Oh, you do want it. Okay, well, can I give you a little bit? Can I give you a little bit? Maybe I chop it up? Give you a little bit? No, you don't want it? Oh my gosh. You're gonna kill me. Every time you do this to me. Just here to keep me company? That's nice of you. Thank you. Do you want a bigger piece? You're still staring at me. Look how big it is. Look, it's so big. Are you scared? Okay. I would be scared if I were you too. Hey, you want to smell it? You like how it smells? I gave you a piece. I can't give you this huge piece. It's here. Try it. You're so silly. Okay. I'm just shaving off some residual hairs that I'm feeling here. Hi, Memo. I have no idea what torchwood is, so I do not know. Has it been 15 minutes yet? Was my calculation way off? Hi, Memo. You want to smell again? I know you're interested, and I gave you a slice. Do you want a bigger slice? Is that what you're telling me? You're just so cute, babes. He's just hiding under the chair right now, staring at me with his big, big eyes. Well, I gave him bits. I actually chopped a little bowl for him so that he wouldn't struggle with the large pieces too much. Here's our second box. So these are about, I guess, $5 a box. But he sniffed it and he walked away. I do feel like he has trouble seeing food sometimes, and I think maybe because he's on the older side, maybe he doesn't smell it either. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he's just curious. Well, this has been lightly smoked, which I suspect is making it a little bit harder than untreated skin to slice through. The fat is easy to slice through, but the skin itself is a little bit tougher. I'm really bummed that I didn't get more with like ham attached. There's only like 2 bits that have ham attached. I feel like those are gonna be the tastiest ones. Like, that's basically almost like a slice of bacon. Gary, you're just like so kindly roasting me. Okay, my index is starting to get bruised, and can you see this? Where it's like plum colored? Alright, we're done. Woo! We did it! Alright. And now we luxuriate in a lard hand massage. Bits of pork are falling off my hand, so I'm doing it over the sink, but it's like a nice little treatment for my dying cutting board. No, please. Roast me. Make me flavorful. We bought like 3.5 pounds of pork skin because it was available at the farmer's market, and my FOMO was like, yes, buy it. So we bought it, and now we cut it into boxes. We're gonna freeze most of the boxes, but I have about a quarter cup here chopped that we will use kind of like the cooking oil, basically, like a lard base for the various mush that we will eat today. Stay tuned. Yeah, like honestly, Gary has finessed this kind of are you complimenting me or are you roasting me? And it's really artful. I think for sure. There are master classes happening in every single live stream. You just have to know where to forage your materials from. The land is here for the picking. And I think that's what's become like a lost art in the age of content making, with scare quotes around the term content. Which is like, you're being told by the thumbnail and the title what it is that you're watching, and sometimes it's clickbait, but most of the times, depending on what kind of algorithm you're on, it's not. And it's just like, it kind of makes you lose critical thinking and also wonder. Because you just end up trusting whatever it is that you're being sold to be taken at complete face value. I have been, when I feel energetic, I know you were just joking and demonstrating your awesome roasting powers, but I have been dancing more at home on my own at night when I haven't been very active that day and I don't have the energy or the desire to like actually lift weights or do any sort of proper, quote unquote, proper workout. I've just been like putting my headphones on and listening to songs I like and just like roaming around in my room and dancing a little, you know? I have all this floor space. It enables me to just do whatever with it. So maybe I'll dance a little tonight in my own room. Yes, oh my gosh, the pork skin with beans, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Today we have some leftover parsnips and carrots, overwintered red cabbage that I just chopped up, plus a little bit of red bell pepper, and we're also going to cook chicken hearts, but I don't think the chicken hearts need any more fat. I think they're pretty sufficient on their own, so let me see what else we got going on. Intentionality matters, you know. If you're bullying for the sake of hurting and you don't finesse the edges very well, it will become very obvious your ill intentions. However, if you can serve it in a way where it's like so rounded and smooth and creamy, people will eat it up and like think you mean to praise them. In a world where deception sells, this is like prime art. It's a very skillful art that you could possibly make money off of. Alrighty, these are going back in the freezer. This is the little bowl that I chopped for Memo, and honestly, considering that he's like less than 10% of my body weight, multiply that by 10, and I think that I chopped him like a good serving, but he's not interested, so. Can you see anything from this angle? No, you can't. You can't, can you? Can you see something from this angle? Oh yeah, much better. Much, much better angle. Okay, yes. Our onions and garlic. Rest assured, anyone who can serve roasts have been practicing it on themselves lifelong. That I'm pretty certain. Okay, that was turmeric and black pepper that I just added in there. I add that combo to everything now. I don't know if I should, but I do. Just because I believe it's for health reasons, so it's at least placebo. Even if it isn't doing much for me. I do think I'm gonna cook the peppers with the red cabbage and then the parsnips and the carrots separately, which is why I reserved a little bit of that pork skin. Kind of silly that I put them all in here because I thought I was going to be lazy and make a one-pot mush, but maybe not. Maybe not. I will add some sausage in here too, though. bottom was starting to burn, so I just added in a little bit of water to make sure it doesn't continue burning, and I'm lifting all of the fond off now, so we'll keep an eye on that. Okay. This is the sausage. Long. She's a long sausage. And crumbly too. Okay. I'll just crumble at it. I could be making more perfect cuts on a cutting board, but I just washed that cutting board. I don't feel like it. Okay, that was about $1 worth of sausage. I got 2 links for $4.15. Nice and smoked too. Adding in our overwintered red cabbage. It's very similar to kale, I think, in both texture and color, but not as fibrous. Pretty. I originally said we were going to make this gochujang flavored, but I think we're going to save the gochujang for the parsnips. I think this one will get a little bit of TVP, textured vegetable protein crumble, and then maybe the parsnip batch will get tofu. But we will have to taste for seasoning. I'm not sure how much salt is coming through with the peppers and the bacon fat. Maybe I can use the rest of my barbecue sauce in here. That would be so delicious, actually. think I'm gonna cook the chicken hearts in the IKEA pot. That can stew with a lot of liquid without me fearing it running dry. We'll go ahead and add a little bit of our very expired Worcestershire. And some of our remaining final sauce. Might add in a splash of smoked paprika. And cumin in here too. I feel like we're going for a barbecue vibe. Why not? Commit to the bit. Here's our TVP. We need to taste a little bit of this, see how we're doing flavor-wise. This is turning out to be one of my favorite forks. I think it's from Finnair, so an airline out of Finland. I thrifted it somewhere. It's so simple, but there's like a nice, it looks thin and flimsy, but there's like such a nice moderate weight to it, and the curves are so simple and slightly unexpected. I don't know, something about it makes me very happy. Interesting. It's kind of acidic in a vinegary way, but I don't think we put anything in there that is super vinegary outside of the barbecue sauce. Maybe the Worcestershire? I have this pomegranate juice. I didn't buy it. I got sent it. But I'm gonna try a little bit in my tea, and then I might add a little bit in there for sweetness. Actually, let me just taste it on its own. Because what if it makes it even more acidic? Yeah, I might. A splash. We'll do a splash of ume plum too. It'll cook off the alcohol and leave behind the sugars. And then I think I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar in there. It's actually, it has like all these lemon strips in it. I'm gonna taste one actually. It's like candied lemon now. Yeah, wow. Very interesting. Maybe not the sugar. I'm gonna go with a little maple sugar. This is like OG packaging. We discontinued this packaging, but delicious maple sugar. Just a little. Okay, I'm gonna let that cook off a little bit longer. And I'm gonna think about this. I think we should chop up some of our leeks, so we'll have to use the cutting board again. This is leeks I had prepped last week. Yes, I have mushrooms. I do have mushrooms. Mushrooms could taste good in here too. Maybe? No! Okay, well, that mushroom is gonna be there for a year before I clean it up. That mushroom that rolled off is such a metaphor. You think you want to escape, but where are you escaping to? Is it really any better to delay the inevitable? Yes, I like this flavor balance more. Okay, once the mushrooms cook a little more, I'm gonna add in my TVP and we're gonna let it sit while we get started on the chicken hearts. Cordyceps are a parasite, right? They're like a bug that becomes infected by a parasite, no? Or is it a mushroom that becomes infected by a parasite? Whatever the case may be, they're blowing up now, and there's like a huge market for the stuff, so there's like fake cordyceps now too. Because we're really good at ruining things. Adding in a little bit of water so that there's enough liquid in here for the TVP to absorb. That's what it looks like raw. If you're curious, here's the nutritional info. And you just stir it in, and it basically soaks up all the liquid. It turns it into like a little beef crumble. It basically tastes a little bit like ground beef. Texture-wise, at least. Flavor-wise, depends totally on what you cook it with. Okay, chicken heart time. I'm gonna rinse these, put them in the pot, slice up some ginger, and actually before I do that, this is the last bag I have of this like black soybean paste that Mom left behind. I've been using this in place of soy sauce. I'm actually out of soy sauce except for this really thick, dank black soy sauce that I don't really love the flavor of because it's so concentrated in molasses. If you have any advice on how to use this soy sauce, please let me know, because I kind of bought it by mistake. I did not know that it was thick like this. If you're asking about the TVP, that one is soy-based. Seitan is definitely wheat-based. So seitan is a wheat gluten. put some garlic into our chicken hearts too. Why not? We have it. I remember Grandma when she was like less on her deathbed still, she was like kind of still healthy and aware. She kept telling me I need to eat more ginger, more garlic, more scallions. And I was like, yes, the trinity of Chinese herbs and alliums. Just had a call with my grief counselor yesterday, our monthly check-in. Doesn't sound like she's doing too well either, you know. Therapists, they're human too. The world is just messy. And she was talking about how, you know, just trying to do her work and feel like she's contributing something to this mess that at least stabilizes people a little bit more, is grounding her. I think doing work that we believe in is really important for our mental health, and I think that is potentially like the greatest ailment under late stage capitalism, is so few of us actually get to do work that we believe in. And it really wrecks us because it doesn't feel like we're in charge of our lives. And I think that brews a baseline level of despair that is hard to eliminate. So we just got garlic, ginger. I'm about to open up Mom's little soybean packet. Very bittersweet. I always feel some type of way about using the stuff that she left behind, and especially when it's the last of something. But we gotta use it, you know? It doesn't come in a very user-friendly format. We gotta transfer this to a jar. It's kind of like a dank miso, I guess. Once it hits water, you can see it looks like soy sauce. It just looks like my hands have been. Woo! Ooh, that's salty. Mm-hmm. Okay. We'll label that later. Okay, so then I'm gonna add water to this. We'll give it a stir. I'm gonna add some plum wine to this too. I'm trying to finish this bottle. That'll add sugar and a little bit of alcohol to help us wean off the organy taste a little bit. Draining our little blood juice here. I've been thinking a lot about different cultures' cooking methods. Like Americans bake, roast, barbecue, grill a lot. There's a lot of direct fire. There's also frying. I feel like in Chinese cuisine, it is overwhelmingly more boil and steam. Definitely stir fry exists, and baking also exists. But I feel like maybe the longevity of certain East Asian cultures might have to do with the fact that they like steam and boil a lot of things, because direct heat and the amount of caramelization that makes food delicious, of course, that happens when you char something, is the Maillard reaction, which causes cancer. So thinking about not just ingredients, but the way you treat your ingredients too, and how that relates to health impact. I'm obviously not gonna like rule out eating baked goods and grilled stuff, but just thinking about ratios a little bit. And it's not exclusive. Like, I don't want you to think there's no smoking in Chinese cuisine. Like, I grew up eating certain smoked meats too. It's just less prevalent. I do wonder, you know? If you just joined, these are chicken hearts that I'm kind of rinsing off before adding to our pot. soybean paste. Soybean, wheat flour, salt, water, potassium sorbate. Product of China. That's used by September 8th, 2021. There's 2.5 servings in this packet, with each serving consisting of 150 calories, 264% of your sodium. So that entire packet contains about 750, 800% of your sodium intake. But it also contains, the whole packet also contains about 50% of your daily fiber. I guess it's all made of beans for the most part. So fascinating. There's protein in here too. There's 35 grams of protein in the bag. Wouldn't recommend eating this as your protein intake, but soybean paste. So are you really going to start making food videos again? If you don't count this as food videos, I don't know when I'm going to start making quote-unquote food videos again. I have been feeling like I want to, but I don't have the energy to, and I also just don't feel motivated to in terms of, I don't know what technology is doing to us right now. And I kind of don't want to have to expend more energy to like finesse edits to put my labor out on YouTube that is owned by Google that just signed a military contract for AI services with Israel. I just don't know. Like, I know it sounds very like conspiracy theory of me, but there is so much free data that is just floating around from us engaging with websites and apps and now ChatGPT and all the AI platforms, and they have everything of us. Like even this, I'm transmitting bits of myself to these data systems. This is easy enough for me to do. I just set up my phone and say hi, and then we do this. But for me to shoot, set aside time, plan the shoot, edit the shoot, upload the shoot, that's a whole other lifestyle. That's a whole other lifestyle I do not have energy for right now. Meow! What? Meow what? Let's go check out Boy Boy. Hi! Ow! What? Yes? Hi! You want brushes? Brushes? You're so cute, baby. Have you decided to not die? Yeah? We're gonna make it to our 1 year? We're gonna have our 1 year anniversary? Yeah? June 3rd. If you make it to June 3rd, I don't know what we're gonna do because you don't like to eat anything I give you, but we'll celebrate 1 year together. Yum, yum. Hi. Okay, bye. that fun? That's my boy. That's my man. He rules my life. I spent so much money on that guy. Men. Guys, I'm gonna do something that is gonna make my eczema so bad, but Mom left behind these chili peppers, and I think I'm gonna add a few seeds to this just to spice it up a little bit. And I'm also gonna drop some cinnamon in there to make it like more spicy. This is from a long time ago. This is from my Delish days too. I'm trying to use it up. I think this is some ground star anise. Why not? And a little cumin for a savory edge. Also trying to use this up. This is like 2 years old. That smells good. Maybe some white pepper. This much. Guys, I think my love affair with weed is over. Like, I smoked weed once this past week, and it chopped my sleep up so much, and I don't even feel that exhilaration of a high anymore either. It used to be that weed would make me feel like a different person. Like, it would simplify my cognitive overload and open up my body to more relaxation. And I don't know if it's me, I don't know if it's the atmosphere or the weed strains and how they've been like changed since legalization. Probably all of those. It just doesn't feel like something that brings me joy anymore the way it used to. So my friend Nez gave me like a sampling platter of 7 different strains, and I think once I'm done, probably by the end of this year, she gave it to me last November, I might not buy any more weed. I might just be a mushroom girl from now on, you know what I mean? almost never use this, so I'm gonna add a little bit of bay leaf powder in here too. I gotta start using my spices more. You know, because they don't get any more flavorful the longer they sit. The weed flight is already dried out, but I'm no stranger to dry weed. And yes, I do realize the high is not as complex when the weed dries out, but I used to like coast off of crunchy weed for months, and I remember getting highs from that crunchy weed that I'm definitely no longer experiencing on this crunchy weed. So it's not just the crunchiness of the weed, it's I think just everything else has changed. All right, let's taste our sausage, onion, pepper, cabbage concoction, shall we? Because I need that pot for our last cook with the parsnips and the leeks. Maybe the tofu. Oh yes, the tofu. You know what the tart acidity might have been from? It might have been from when I like almost burnt the bottom of that pot. It's probably already starting to burn. Sometimes burnt things can have that like tinny edge to it that reads as this flat acidity. Kind of like canned tomato sauce that tastes a little too canny. Mushrooms was a good call. Great texture. Nice contrast against the TVP texture and the more fibrous vegetal textures. I'm gonna do something weird, and I'm gonna add a little bit of fish sauce to it. Hello, hi. I hope you can see me. Because I think it needs a lick more seasoning, but I also want to make it a little nuanced instead of just salt. So we'll see how this works. The smart thing to do would have actually just been to add 2 drops of fish sauce to my tiny bowl before adding it in here, but I only just thought of that after I added it to the pot. Here we go. That works. Yes? Yes, meow meow. What's up, meow meow? Oh my god, I don't know what he's doing. He sounds like he's ripping up my bed. Hey! You ripping up my bed? The new one? Okay, you do that. You do whatever you want, baby boy. Yeah, I'm glad that mattress was only $200. Gonna taste once more for the level of seasoning, but the fish sauce was a nice balance. It definitely takes it away from that American barbecue vibe and gives it a little more like question mark fusion lick, but I like it. Really makes the tanginess and the sugar content in there pop a little bit more limey like. Right. We will jar it. Okay, so the overwintered cabbage was $4. The sausage was about $1. The mushroom was a little over $1. Pepper was 50 cents. Onion and garlic was probably less than 50 cents. Plus the condiments. I don't know. That seems like a pretty good deal. I've made 3 meals. The most expensive thing was probably the farmer's market greens, so. pig skin actually rendered way, way, way less fat than I thought it would. So I'm gonna chop actually a little bit more to put into our parsnips. We'll go with a ham piece and treat ourselves to it. Because I'm going to flavor this with gochujang, I'm chopping up quite a bit of ginger. Since gochujang is already kind of spicy, very Asian, using this opportunity to just jam-pack ginger into my diet here. Black pepper, lots of it. bang in some leeks in there just so it doesn't start to burn the garlic too bad immediately off the bat. Getting my water ready for rescuing burny situations. Oh, I'm also going to do a little surf and turf and finish off our Korean anchovies. And we'll go ahead and chop up our remaining Cotinopsis lanceolata into this dish. Can't say either way if it's hurting or helping or nothing, but I have been off of my vitamins for I think 2 weeks now. Not feeling a lot of change, to be honest with you. I don't know if the vitamins have really been doing anything for me in the last 8 months. Could be the quality of vitamins I was taking, or just they weren't really having much of an effect on my condition. I have been thinking about whether or not this is my health or just like universal karma. Kind of feels like I can't really feel all that much healthier until the world gets its shit together a little bit more, you know? Maybe it's connected, maybe it's not, who knows? It smells vaguely like the plum wine. This fermented bean paste. Red and green, they look so good together. Complementary colors on the color wheel. Finally, our parsnips and carrots find a home. Whew. We should sit. I should sit. I should definitely sit. Okay, so this hot cocoa mix, I actually like it just eaten straight. Brewed, it's okay. But if I eat it straight, it kind of feels like I'm being naughty and doing something I shouldn't be doing. There's 3 ingredients in here: jaggery, cacao, and salt. The reason why I bought this one out of all the Diaspora Co. spices is because apparently their cacao powder is award-winning, but it was out of stock. This blend itself was on like a 20% sale or something at the time, and has cacao powder in it. Now the reason why I'm kind of angry about my purchase and what led me to make this decision is that on the website, I wrote to them after I received this product and found the discrepancies. I don't know if they've changed it, but when I was ordering on the website, their ingredients listed cacao, jaggery, and then salt. Their page FAQ also said that there's 4.9 grams of jaggery in this mix, in this blend. And I was like, that seems impossibly low, because this whole tin is 335 grams. So I thought it was going to be like 300 grams of cacao and 5 grams of jaggery. Turns out that's not the case. Turns out 4.9 grams of jaggery is per serving. However, there's, beyond that like confusing aspect of it, the ingredients on the tin lists jaggery first, not cacao first. As someone who's like trying to not eat too much sugar, I was kind of disappointed to see that this is majority sugar. So I wrote to them, and they were like, yeah, it's 54% jaggery. So not like great majority, not overwhelming majority, just a little majority. But still, the ingredients listed are out of order, and the website led me to believe that this is mostly cacao and not jaggery sugar. Secondly, their serving size doesn't match up to the tin. This is 335 grams in the tin. It says there's 37 servings in here, which means every serving is less than 10 grams. But they listed 24 grams of carb per serving, which is impossible, because if your serving is only 10 grams, how do you have 24 grams of carbs in here? So there's just like a lot of inaccuracy happening here. And this is not a new product. I think this has been out for years now, so I'm not sure what went wrong with that. But that was just like a little bit of a disappointing first purchase. It's not bad or anything. Like, I enjoy it. I think it's delicious. And when you do cook with it, it does froth up. It does give you a very creamy product. I also made it with like homemade oat milk, which makes it even thicker, because oat milk kind of cooks the way oats do and thickens as you add heat to it. So that was nice, but yeah, just a lot of discrepancies, which makes me wonder like what else is inaccurate. But it's hard being a small business, so I'm not gonna dock them too much, but it was just not the most ideal first purchase. I just feel like if I had written to like Roll Up and Barrel about something like this, they might have offered me store credit. So there is also that difference in customer service. But it's cool that I tried it. I'm curious. So I satisfied my curiosity. It was 5 years of wondering whether or not I wanted to buy it, and then I finally bought it, and it is beautiful. Like this is like the selling point, honestly, for diaspora for me, because I'm a little pink hoe and I love this color. So I'm very satisfied by this little treat. Hopefully they change the info though to make it more accurate. Hi Daisuke, jaggery is the Indian sugar. Roll Up and Barrel actually carries a jaggery too. It's so this used to be our first edition sugar container. It was like a paper tin with a little metal bottom and a plastic shaker top, but it didn't keep airtight, so the sugar would kind of clump and got really hard to shake out of this like limited space. So we went with a full-on glass construction screw top on all of our sugars now, and this is our jaggery, and it's actually a little bit moist. It depends on how well you can store it, but I just opened this last week and it is like a little moist still, kind of like brown sugar out of the package. It has like the slightly straw, like honey taste with a hint of coffee. That hint of coffee is like when you're tipping the cup of coffee towards your lips, but your lips haven't touched the coffee yet, but the coffee is like just cooled down enough for you to sip comfortably, and that scent of coffee is starting to hit your nose, your cupid's bow, and your like upper palate area. It's that whiff of brewed cooled coffee, and then it kind of just, it has like this kind of almost wet sand texture, but it starts to dissipate with your saliva upon like, you know, contact. So it's pretty light for sugar. The sweetness doesn't stay on your tongue. It kind of just kind of goes down like sugar cane juice, which is what it's made out of. So yeah, this jaggery starts with fresh cane, juiced and boiled down to a syrup in traditional iron pots, clarified using wild okra, and then whipped by hand to produce light, crunchy crystals. So in case you didn't know, like, processed white sugar is sometimes clarified with bone char, which makes it a not vegan product. White sugar is sometimes not vegan. So this is clarified using wild okra. I have no idea what that process looks like, but that's interesting. So usually, like with Burl Up and Barrel, if we ever get clued into a customer writing in about like a website mistake, unless it's a weekend, it usually gets fixed within 24 hours. Like, because our team is so small, we communicate virtually on Slack. It's just, I would like, at Ren, who takes care of the website, I would be like, hey, this looks off, can you change it? And then Ren would probably respond within like 12 minutes, being like, changed. So I don't know how small their team is, but it seems like half of their team works out of India, so there might be more of like a time difference and communication lag. We'll give them 2 weeks, but if they don't change it, that's gonna sour me on a lot of things, honestly. I'm exhausted. We cooked a lot, didn't we? This is our little piece of cooked sausage. The outside of the flavor, around like 3 millimeters of the casing, has soaked up the dish flavors. But I guess because we didn't slow cook it long enough, the center, the 2/3 center of the sausage still is very much its own flavor, so it's still got that kind of like smoky cured meat taste, which is a lovely, lovely addition to the bite. Mushrooms was such a good call. Thanks for your recommendation on that. You have to sign up for the newsletter. We don't have a newsletter bank. We don't archive it on our website. So right now, if you go to the website, there's usually a little pop-up that says, would you like to sign up for our newsletter? Like free jar of turmeric with your first purchase. If you X out of that and you revisit the site, sometimes it gets bookmarked into like a little pull-out retracted tab that sits on the lower left-hand corner of your screen browser. But you could also just email care@burlap and barrel and they might add you to it if it doesn't show up for you, but it should. Let me actually go visit my website. See, we recently changed the newsletter pop-up, so we've been playing around with the site. Yeah, see? It should, when you go to the website, it should pop up like this. It says, do you want to sign up? And then you put your email here and then you sign up. And then you'll get to read all the newsletters. If you X out of this, then it pops up here. And you can click on it and it pops back up again. And then you can enter your email here. All right. If you don't sign up for the newsletter, a lot of our Instagram posts are basically kind of like reiterations of the newsletter. They do get edited and condensed down because you get less text space on Instagram, but the general gist of the content is the same. Okay. Let's see how our chicken hearts are doing. Smells very cinnamony and glistening. Look at that little jiggly ventricle. I'm gonna go for 6 minutes more. Hope the sauce will reduce down even thicker, and then we can turn it off. On the lowest heat setting. I'm gonna lick the spoon to see what the seasoning is like. Actually, let me just do this. More hygienic. Oh yeah, not very sweet at all. Very spicy. Ooh. Maybe a little too spicy. Thank you for congratulating me on cooking today. It is not every day that I get to cook. And 3 things too. I do have to think about what to make with the mountain yams. And wasn't I gonna put tofu in here? Wow, totally forgot about that. Let's add in some mushrooms though. I do need tofu in here because I do feel like my body has been starved of protein these days. And it does feel much more fulfilling to eat meals that have protein. So I slice it into 3 flats, and then I slice them into like 1/2 inch cubes, more or less. About 6 strips, and then 1, 2, and then 8 the other way. So they're not too even, but they're about yay big. Doesn't matter, just matters what you like to eat. Alright, we're going to turn our chicken hearts off. The timer goes off. I'm going to stir this in before I add in more. At least one meal every week we have to fill this pot all the way to the top. Okay. It is a lot of tofu, but guess what? I probably will eat this pot in like 2.5 days. It's better than me getting hungry and snacking on a shit ton of chocolate digestives, you know what I mean? I'm so hungry. I have to take out of this batch of cooked stuff that we have. I've been trying to cook through all of my older spices, but I have so much spices in my life. It's very hard to keep the system updated. So did we accomplish everything almost that we set out to do? We cooked the sausage and the onions and the peppers and the cabbage. We cooked the parsnips and the leeks. Oh, I was supposed to flavor that with miso, right? Never mind. We did not taste the ginko. Do you want to see me taste ginko nuts? We did do the soy ginger chicken hearts. We did not make the white sauce. I don't think I'm going to make the white sauce. I think I'm going to eat that with my plums. All right. I bought ginko nuts from H Mart this time. I think they've added food coloring to this because they're not usually this yellow, but the English ingredients just say ginko nuts and water. And I'm trying to see if I can read the Chinese. But yeah, I'm not sure. Well, the reason why I bought this is Mom used to make me eat ginko nuts, not packaged like this. She would get it from somewhere else and she would like roast them herself and peel them, which was way too much trouble for me. But she would insist that they were really good for me. So I saw these at H Mart for $1 and I was like, couldn't hurt. Let's try it. So let's try it. I'll put the rest in this little jar. Gonna try one plain. It looks like a boiled blanched almond, but I don't know what's going on with this yellow food coloring. I don't think it's natural, but I don't know. Oh yeah, there's the bitterness. It didn't kick in for the first 4 seconds and I was like, oh. No! God. That's such a... Ooh. Okay. Guys, this one tastes especially interesting. The texture of it almost feels like a mealy boiled egg yolk, like a hard boiled egg yolk. Well, nothing barbecue sauce can't fix, right? Wait, let me not waste the barbecue sauce. Let me do it straight on the spoon and not on the bowl so I can lick it. Three dabs of glorious barbecue sauce. All right. Oh yeah. Right off the bat, it hides. Okay. But then it doesn't hide. Yeah, it's not the most delicious thing in the world. I think it would be way better if I ate it with food. So maybe we try a bite with food, hide it. It's kind of like I have to hide vegetables for myself now. Mm-hmm. If you don't know it's there, it won't bother you. But if you do know it's there, it will bother you. It bothers me anyway. What I'm gonna do is shake a little salt in here. And just like season and cure it a little bit. Maybe this will help. IDK. Alright. We tried it. We did it. What we can do is treat ourselves with a little cheese. Oh, I could have used this cooking oil too. Delicious. Yum. The anchovies are starting to release their fishy aroma. Everything's kind of getting mushy. The tofu released a lot of water. Cool. All right, let's stab a chicken heart. The sauce is very, very silky. You definitely can't tell because it's so shallow now. But it's all reduced down now. Very gravy-like. Okay, now we stab. It smells kind of medicinal. I guess it's all that ginger that I put in there. The jumper is thrifted like 2 years ago. Ooh, those chili seeds and I guess the ginger really spiced it up. This is like an adrenaline kick of a chicken liver or chicken heart. Beautiful. Love it. Makes me feel all warm inside. Okay, well, I also used to hate bitter melon. These are the bitter foods that Mom made me eat because she was confident that they would keep me alive forever. And they might, which is another reason to stop eating them. But I haven't had ginko nuts in years, and I also had to like retrain myself to like bitter melons after Mom passed away, so maybe there's like a retraining period for me. I also was in the Chinese supermarket yesterday in Flushing, and I saw that the ginko nuts sold in the package there were not nearly as yellow, so I might give another prepackaged ginko nuts a try. Or maybe I'm just gonna have to like buy some fresh stock off of Chinese ladies on the street. They like vend them in these little pint containers. But I don't know if I'm gonna be as dedicated as Mom was by roasting them and peeling them myself. Oh no, I didn't eat all the mozz. I transferred most of them to a glass jar and froze them again because I knew I wasn't going to finish that tub in time before it starts turning slimy and disgusting on me. So I kept like 15 balls in the plastic container, and then I poured the rest of the cheese balls with their oil in a glass jar, and they are going back into hibernation. Maybe it'll change their texture this time. Who knows? It's all an experiment. It's fun. So happy to hear that, okay, Jenny. I think someone else just wrote on my Instagram this week, like, you know, I cook on a budget and I miss seeing you shop and make the most out of ingredients or something like that, and I miss getting inspiration. And I just wish people would still see, like, the inspiration is there. I can't show you literally everything you can do with every ingredient, and I also don't know what ingredients you're having access to, but like the inspiration is this idea that you can do whatever the fuck you want with your food. And it's up to you to find out if you like the results of it or not, and to like remain curious about playing with food in such a way that you both learn something from your experiments and like potentially free yourself from this idea that you have to do things in this procedure with this amount to yield any results. It's kind of like learning how to drive a car, but always wanting your driving instructor in the car with you. At some point, you're gonna have to take the training wheels off, right? So that's what makes me think, like, oh, people just miss the idea of having content there for them. Like, it's new content. And this live, like, the live streams are content too, but it's not hitting the spot, you know? This is kind of like buying uncooked vegetables and watching edited content is like vegetables that have been seasoned perfectly and roasted for you and plated for you, and it's served with this condiment aioli on the side. Of course you're gonna love watching content that's already prepped for you, and this is just like a lot more work, and you have to deal with my rants and other bullshit. But there is still something here. Honestly, I loved watching my journey in Budget Eats too. Like, there was never an episode where I went in starting the shoot thinking, yeah, I'm gonna make this and this and this and this and this. Like, every day was a day where I had to like sit either before or after shooting the previous day and think about what can I make tomorrow. And sometimes it wouldn't work when I tried to shoot it. So then that was an adventure. It was like me finding out new things about myself too. Unfortunately, that level of production just isn't really possible for me right now. If I had like a crew, someone to shoot with me, someone to edit for me, possible, but currently not possible. Am I trying structure to these lives? I don't think there's structure to these lives at all. I start with a rant. I rant throughout. We cook some shit. I eat. We rant some more. Or I cry, depending on the day. And then we check in on Memo from time to time. Not sure if we follow that, though. Shall we check in on the boy again? Yeah, how is my husband? Absolutely. I loved filming the fuck ups too. It was just really hard for Zach to edit. Baby. Are you snacking? You haven't touched those for days. And now you're snacking on them? Have I finally starved you enough for you to want to snack on food that you didn't want to eat before? Hi. Hi. We've come to bother you. Can we bother you? Baby. I'm sure he yearns for freedom, but where's he gonna get it? Where are you gonna get freedom? What will you do with your freedom once you go? Will you kill birds? Will you kill squirrels? Will you be a rat czar? Will you look at birds and not kill them? Maybe you're a pacifist. Maybe you just like looking. Maybe you're a bird watcher. You're an old man. That's what old men do, right? Old men watch birds. I really want to go back to the kitchen right now. Oh, see? I was trying not to disturb him. Oh, but he's just moving to the drive. Yeah, he doesn't eat sometimes if I don't pet him enough. Do you want more attention? Goodbye? Alright, goodbye. Thank you for letting us watch you eat. What a little weirdo. He's so weird. Yes, I do watch him for hours. Not of my own volition sometimes, just because I can't move. But he is very cute to look at. Alright, let's taste our final dish and see what kind of seasoning it can benefit from. It's also pretty sloshy right now. It's kind of the most soupy thing that I've made. It's like half soup. You can see a little bit. Pretty watery. So I am thinking about maybe putting like a little cornstarch in there to help thicken it up while we adjust the seasoning too. Maybe a little sesame oil could help, but we'll see. With the amount of tofu that I put in, we probably will need to add a little more salt content too. That's too hot for me to taste anything. I have kitchen hands, but I do not have kitchen mouth. I don't understand how some people can just eat piping hot stuff and not burn their mouth and actually taste things. I can't taste things when they're hot. Which is why I always like to ask people this question of, if you could only eat cold things or hot things for the rest of your life, which would you choose? And I honestly don't think anyone's ever said to me cold. I might be the only person who chooses cold. So yeah, that's another weirdo thing about me, I guess. Oh, it's leaf blower time, 5 p.m. on a Saturday. I'm also a room temp person, but would you classify room temp as the hot camp or the cold camp? Or should we make a third camp where everything is room temp? But that means even ice cream and all of your beverages have to be room temp. So there's no hot coffee if you choose hot. Or rather, there's no hot coffee if you don't choose hot. It's room temp coffee. And you can't have like chilled beer. It's always going to be room temp beer. And you'd have to like drink room temp melted ice cream / milkshake. Yeah, no ice. If you don't choose cold, you don't get ice. Does that change your mind? Man, that sausage is so good. Ooh. I think the last time I bought cured meats when I was still probably living with Aaron, I think he bought it. So it's been almost 2 years since I've eaten cured meats. Wow. The time, it passes. I have no idea who the Hongsam family is, so no. Is that like a Korean reality TV family? Is it like the Kardashians, but Korea? Everything's good in terms of texture, but definitely needs a little more salt. And I would like to add a cornstarch slurry to this. Okay. Let's see. It's spicy enough for me to enjoy right now, so I don't want more gochujang, but maybe now's the time to go in with miso. So we can do our miso after all. I just took a little bit of the broth that was already in the dish, and I just mixed about a shallow tablespoon of cornstarch in there, whisking it until it's completely dissolved because we don't want cornstarch nuggets. And then we'll stream it back, turn the heat back on, stir in a little bit of miso. Maybe I want even more cornstarch, actually. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna explode all over my countertop, and I still did it. This is why people don't change, because the consequences wasn't great enough for them to regret it. If like every time cornstarch spilled and one of my toes broke, you betcha I would not be pouring out cornstarch like I just did. Oh, YouTube, interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that creator. Yep, that's miso. Cornstarch slurry went in, miso went in, and you can see how it is less soupy and more starchy, glistening, glossy. The sounds change too. It's a little thicker, syrupy sounding. A little more squishy. A little less slushy. So the cornstarch just needs a little more heat to activate. There we go. That's our signature mush. All right, heat is off. And we are done cooking for today. Hallelujah. Trying to pick out some more carrots. I want to get my root vegetables in. I think it's going to be especially delicious now with all the... I just got a little pork skin. Hell yeah, give it to me. Pork skin. How exciting is this? I'm excited. I feel like I've been granted a 3-day vacation from my illness. Half a vacation. But I've been mostly functional enough in the past 3 days to like be able to walk and cook. Have you guys experienced persistent neck pain like for weeks? Do you have advice? Should I be worried about something? I don't think I did anything to injure it, but it could just be from inactivity. But I also don't know how to fix it. I've tried patches, I've tried stretching, but maybe I have to be more persistent with my stretching. Maybe I just need to like massage myself. These days I've been thinking a lot, not a lot, but like I frequently think about the fact that I treated my various Hinge boyfriends so well, and I don't do half the stuff that I did for myself. And that is just such a, like a, I don't even know how to describe that feeling, but it's just like, you dumb bitch, but also love yourself more. You know, it's kind of like a, what a shame, what a dummy you were, but also let's do better and let's take care of ourselves. I'm having a lot of those realizations lately. Not sure what happened there, but we got disconnected, and we might get disconnected again, but in case we do, I had a great time cooking today. Thanks for joining me. Happy weekend. Please take better care of yourself if you're able to. Honestly, I think it's so easy for us to forget ourselves. We just worry constantly about whether or not we're doing the right thing, that we don't pay attention to like this. We're getting all sorts of signals from this to like take care of it, and we ignore it because we think we have other responsibilities to attend to, whether they be family or jobs or partners and friends. I am from the future. What can I say? Nobody believes me, but it's just not their time to believe me yet. My transporter technology is a, let's see, I got this phone after mom passed away, so 2021, probably, late 2021. My transporter technology is a almost 4-year-old phone that overheats and disconnects itself with a YouTube app that glitches. It fools you into thinking I have magic, but really it's just a lack of hardware and software upgrades. All you have to do to look like a magician is to mismatch the frame rate of other people's reality so that they don't catch your movements at the same rate that you catch your movements. Sleight of hand, right? You choose what to reveal to your audience to make them believe that what they saw is 100% of what happened. But they can't see 100%, and sometimes neither can you. Very miso-y now. It's actually very delicious. It tastes like everything is coated in this like sweet miso glaze. I think because of how the cornstarch thickened the sauce, it's making the miso flavor, since we added the miso in at the very end, it's not like soaked into each piece of the vegetable, but it's just like sitting around each piece of the ingredients. This is that pork skin. It's super gelatinous. The white parts, they didn't render at all. They're not like, I think there's like at least 2 different kinds of fat in meat, especially in pork. And I think this is the kind of fat that doesn't melt. It's actually like chewy a little bit. My grandmother would have loved this cut of pork. Damn. I'm not sure if she would have loved the smoky hickory flavor, but she would have loved the texture of this pork. Oh my lord. Well, I'm eating it for her now. And before I bid you goodbye, maybe we can see Memo one more time. He's just staring out the window, waiting to be released into nature again. What a sweet boy. Oh, baby. I do wish I could bring him out on a walk, but he won't even let me wipe him down, so I don't think I would survive getting him outside of the apartment. And I think he's going to be meowing at me all along the way, because he won't understand. But yes, he's a sweetie. And that's just what he does when he's not in his little cubicle hiding. I think as the weather is warming up, he's really enjoying sitting in front of the window. Hey, baby. Hi, sweetie. Okay, y'all. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Yes, do your stretch. Yawn your yawns. Eat your snacks. Watch your birds. Take care.